You are listening to Small Business Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives small business owners the straight talk on productivity, time management, business systems, leading your teams, strategic decision-making, and mindset. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. Today is episode 334, 4 essential activities worth making time for. If you're a small business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. Today, we're going to be diving into 4 essential activities to help you improve your productivity and reduce the stress of running your business and the heavy mental load that comes along with it. I want to invite you to hit pause and take my quick 3-minute next level business owner quiz. In 3 quick minutes, you will learn what's most holding you back, and then you'll receive a curated playlist with specific episodes that address those challenges. Episodes that have in them strategies, actions, insights, conversations with experts that you can implement in your business immediately. So hit pause and head on over to amberdelagarza.com/quiz. And now, let's get to the straight talk. We've all heard of the mental load, right? Well, if not, let's dive into exactly what that is. Mental load typically refers to the behind the scenes, the cognitive labor, and emotional work needed to manage a household. Examples are meal planning, scheduling, generally meeting the needs of every family member. If you feel like you have a heavy mental load in your personal life, then I highly invite you and recommend that you read this article. It's called Women Aren't Nags. We're Just Fed Up by Gemma Hartley. This article I stumbled upon many, many years ago, and I have shared it with many, many clients. And what this article did for me was articulate very well something that I felt and that I was experiencing, but I wasn't quite able to put words around it. The author refers to your mental load as emotional labor in this article, and it's good, and it's really, really good. The article is helpful, and it's action-oriented. The mental load of running a business can also weigh greatly on you if you're just going through the motions of being in business and handling every detail, completing every task as you see it, whether you're the one who should be doing it or not, answering every email as it comes in, and addressing every fire as it starts. If your bucket is too heavy and overloaded, you can't possibly add any more. Even if the more is the tasks and projects that will help grow your business and reach your revenue goals. When you think about being productive, working hard, and feeling good about your day, you might have a narrow definition of what that looks like. Whether you type your list, write it down, or keep all your tasks in your head, of course, we all want to feel like we're knocking off a ton of tasks from our task list each day. However, as a business owner, your role is not to simply conquer your task list and get as many tasks done as possible each day. I know, maybe this is the first time you've heard that, but I am telling you, as the productivity specialist, your role is not to simply conquer your task list. It is not about checking them all off, and it's not about getting the most done each day. Your role is to work on your highest value activities, the activities that truly make you more productive. You know, the ones that get you closer to your goals and vision of success, not just the ones that keep you busy. Your high-value activities are not as clear-cut as simply conquering your task list. answering an email, or putting out a fire. High-value activities are strategic. They put you in the driver's seat and make you work on your business instead of stuck working in your business. One of the hardest things we as business owners have to do is quickly zoom in and zoom out of the business. We zoom in to the day-to-day tasks, projects, client work, etc. And then we zoom out to strategize, make decisions, prepare for the work to come, and plan our days, weeks, quarters, and years. Zooming out is often overlooked, bypassed, and undervalued because the tendency is to see how much we have to do and just start doing it instead of taking the time to figure out how and when to best accomplish all of it. Zooming out gets squeezed out because it does not feel as productive as checking tasks off our task list. But it is essential. I'm going to repeat that again. Zooming out gets squeezed out because it does not feel as productive as checking tasks off our list. But it is essential. You must slow down and take time to better manage your mental load so that you can fully equip yourself to go fast. I often share that phrase, we have to go slow to go fast. There's rhythm to your business. There's rhythm to the seasons. There's rhythm to your days. And going slow to go fast is another rhythm that we all need to embrace. Improve your productivity and reduce the stress of running your business and the heavy mental load that comes along with it simply by making time for these 4 specific and essential activities. Number 1, the first essential activity that we squeeze out and overlook is decide. Decisions. You as a business owner have so much decision making to make. And this is often something that never shows up on our task list, often is never accounted for in our schedule, in our time, in our capacity. And it can really, really weigh on us. But as a leader and a business owner, making quick and decisive decisions is essential. Therefore, I recommend that you create the time and space to do so. Number 2, prepare. Preparing for meetings, presentations, speaking. Are you giving yourself adequate time to prepare, or is it seen as a luxury? Is it seen as something that is not necessary and is optional and can get squeezed out when other things expand on your calendar or your task list? Properly preparing for things that you need to prepare for, such as meetings and presentations, etc., will allow you to reduce your stress, to show up your best, to not be frantic, to not be reactive, but rather proactive. And I find it to be essential to prioritize preparing time and thinking about that as you are accounting for what your own capacity is for any given day or week. Number 3, plan. Planning is essential. Creating the time and space on your schedule to plan your days, your weeks, your quarters, your years. Planning your way forward in the business. Creating a plan is the definition of going slow to go fast. How do you optimize the time that you're running? How do you ensure that your day is going as you need it to go based on your own goals versus someone else being in the driver's seat, deciding where all of your time, energy, and attention are going? So planning, creating time for that can look like 15 minutes a day. That's what I teach my clients, is to do a daily wrap, which is a daily review and action plan. They should take about 15 minutes a day. You can plan your weeks. Let's say it's on a Friday and you're wrapping up your week. I call that a weekly wrap. Weekly review and action plan. Maybe it's 30 minutes to an hour of reviewing the week and doing a forecast of what are your rocks for the next week? What are your priorities for the next week? How about zooming out on a quarterly basis to look at what worked, what didn't work? What are our initiatives? Did we accomplish those initiatives and goals? And what are we going to be focusing on next quarter in a 3-month chunk? What does that look like for the team? What does that look like for yourself? And definitely doing a year, 3 years, or 5 years in vision casting. Creating time to plan, I believe, is something that you as a leader need to be creating more time for and prioritizing as essential. Number 4 is strategizing. What is the strategy forward? What is the marketing strategy? Are we going into different marketplaces? Are we hitting a different ideal client? Are we bringing a new product or service to the market? Is there time created, the space? Have you reduced the mental load and overwhelm enough that you could sit with your thoughts and strategize for what's next? These 4 essential activities, decide, prepare, plan, and strategize, are 4 important areas that I think you should have showing up on your to-do list. In past episodes, we have talked about verbalizing your task list, so creating an action that is so specific that you're not lumping big projects together and you know exactly what it is that you need to be doing with that task. Well, what would that look like if you specifically put on your task list, decide regarding XYZ position? Decide on Jane Doe project or Jane Doe client. Instead of just letting it linger around, it's actually something that shows up in your task list, then ideally time scheduled to think and then execute on that decision on your schedule. If you looked at my schedule and there are big decisions that need to be made in my business, I will actually have created time to specifically focus on that. And here's why that's powerful. 1, I'm setting my intentions. 2, I know that that's my highest value activity and I'm exactly where I should be because I have scheduled it and planned for it. I don't want you to limit these things to be just in the office. Decide, prepare, plan, strategize. So for example, sometimes when I have a decision to be made, it's not going to be made in my office behind my computer. That environment is not conducive. And strategizing is often, for me, not found in my office behind my computer. I would go for a walk and set the intentions for my thoughts and letting my mind wander about specific strategies and having ideas come up and being open to capturing them, but I'm walking and I'm moving my body. I have clients, several clients, whom I've recommended do a weekly CEO date with themselves to plan, to go to a coffee shop, set time aside, and specifically review their week, preview the next week, and also work on some key areas of their business that they want to work on, like a specific project. And they're doing that outside of the office with great intention. Those are just a few ideas, and I want to get your own ideas going that this does not need to be a one-size-fits-all. This can look very different for you, your personality, your business. But what is essential here, and the whole goal of this entire episode, is that I want you to reframe your thoughts, to be open to thinking about productivity in a different way, and to include and understand that as a business owner, your highest value activities will often not be found in tasks that get checked off a task list, but rather in deciding, preparing, planning, and strategizing. Are you currently making adequate time for those 4 activities so that you can reduce your stress, minimize decision fatigue, keep your energy up throughout the day, know who's going to handle what tasks because they've been planned and delegated, Feel confident because you're going to show up prepared and not rushed and frazzled. Know what you're going to work on and when, and feel confident that that is exactly what you should be focusing on. If not, create time on your schedule for these activities. Yes, you'll need to slow down and not just jump right into your first task first thing in the morning or your inbox, but take the time to slow down and decide, prepare, plan, and strategize. This will help you be able to go faster throughout your days and your weeks. This will provide you with the map and gas needed to get to your destination, so you won't have to stop and ask for directions and keep fueling up. You'll know exactly where you're headed and be better equipped to get there. I have loved having you listen to this episode of Small Business Straight Talk podcast, and I sure hope you found my conversation about these 4 essential activities to be valuable. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. The action that I'm asking for from you today is to reset your mindset around your definition of what productivity is and being productive as a business owner. I want you to widen that definition and to include these 4 areas: deciding, preparing, planning, and strategizing. We will be linking out to the article I referenced at the top of today's episode. That article was such a hit that the author of that article actually went on to write a book, and she wrote a book called Fed Up: Emotional Labor, Women, and the Way Forward. And we're going to link out to that in the show notes as well. As always, you can find the show notes at amberdelagarza.com, and today's show notes will be at /334. If you're thinking of hiring a business coach, I would love to chat with you. Now is the time to book a discovery call to find out if working together is the next best step for you and your business. If you would love coaching, accountability, training, and support around time management, productivity, team building, strategizing in your business, leading your team, then we should talk soon. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/coaching to find out more and schedule a call. If you're new here, I want to welcome you to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you're a longtime listener and you enjoyed and valued today's conversation on the podcast, be sure to share it with your friends, colleagues, other business owners who you think would find it valuable. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.